Welcome to the Elite Life Podcast with your hosts, Trisha and Kylee. Here, we guide you on a journey of personal and professional transformation, revealing the secrets to success. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, join us as we unlock the doors to the elite world of growth, grit, and grace. So, let's dive in.
Welcome, friends, to another episode of the Elite Life Podcast. My name's Trish, and dancing over there is Miss Kylee B.
Oh, I am full of it today. So I'm ready for this episode. I've been listening to this audiobook, and I am floored at all of the nuggets I've just been internalizing here.
I have the book right here. I was reading it this morning, actually. I got it on Audible, too, and I was enjoying it so much on Audible, I was like, dude, I have to order the book.
Got to throw it in the catalog, throw it in the library.
Yeah, I'm loving it, too. It's amazing.
It's so good, you guys. So good. It is such a movement. Like, what really hit me was when I was listening to the beginning of the book. And
did we actually say what book it is and who it's by?
Oh, so let's start there.
Let's start at the start. We're just like jumping in. Let's talk.
So we are reading the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Yes. And it is all about coming to this mental and emotional shift in life where you are pulling yourself out of these emotional entanglements with other people in your life, your friends, your family, and it really walks you through how to progress and really just grow in a very healthy way.
Yeah, and if you are somebody who suffers from the people pleasing,
this one's for you. It's for you, boo.
Yeah, people get exhausted by just trying to control the uncontrollable, and I love that this book is just like, stop doing that.
Yeah, there was an agent, I want to get her into this book. She was at the office and she was talking about how, we were talking about her business and she's like, I just come to a place where like I'm so peopled out. But I also know that her personality is, I've got to please the husband, and then I've got to take care of the kids, and then she's got her dad, and then she's got clients, and then she's got you, and you're super difficult to please. So she's got all of these people, and she's putting it on herself. And I'm like, boo, I just need you to read this book. It will free you.
Yeah. So let's kind of jump into the meat of the book. She starts with, if someone's actions are disappointing you, let them.
It's so simple. Mic drop. And we're done. And that's the whole episode.
Right.
And you want to make sure that, you understand this is a full-on mind shift. Like it's easier said than done, right? And this is all about stepping back and realizing that others people's behavior is a reflection on them and it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah. And you have to stop, like, again, this exhausting game. Like, she talks about her friends not inviting her to something, and she's
that
like,
hit me so hard.
Yeah, but she's like, let them. Someone flakes on you, let them. Your partner forgets something important, let them. Like, you have to let people just be people, because
people be peoplein'.
Yeah, exactly. Because you drain yourself trying to change them or control them or go around and around in your head about how, like, well, why don't they understand my point of view? Blah, 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 blah.
And that's the word. The word you said was control.
Yeah.
And the story that hit me very hard was at the beginning. She's telling the story. I think I shared this in another episode, but she's sharing the story of when her youngest, so she's got two older girls and then she's got her youngest, who's a boy. And so boys are different, y'all.
Right.
For y'all who don't have one, they're different. And so she was talking about the difference in experience that she had as a parent between preparing for prom for her daughters and preparing for prom for the boy. And what had happened was it came to prom night, like the week of prom, and he was like, oh, I am going. So now she's running around trying to get him a tux, boutonniere, like corsage for the girlfriend and all of this stuff. And then prom night comes and all the friends are at the house and they're like, well, where are you going to go for dinner? And they're like, oh, I think we're just going to go to Amigos. And she talks about how Amigos is this tiny little hole-in-the-wall taco place downtown. And she's like, there are 20 children here. They're not all going to fit in Amigos. So she started figuring out, like, looking at restaurants. Where can we get a reservation last minute? And, like, her daughter Sawyer comes over. And she was like, stop. Just stop it. Just let them. And she's like, and Mel is like, well, they're not all going to fit. How are they going to be standing outside in the rain? And Sawyer's like, let them. Like, this is their experience. Right. And that hit me very hard because I find myself in a lot of spaces trying to control my children and control how they're interacting with the world around them. And the one preface she does give in the book is like, a lot of the tips and tricks and things she walks you through are mainly for dealing with adults, because obviously when you're dealing with children, you can't just let them, right, like willy-nilly. Yeah. But you can let them in safe spaces. And so there are a lot of times where like Kaya, I want her to do things my way. I want her brain to work the way that my brain works, and it just doesn't. And there are times where I recognize that her need to do this one thing and just finish it out because she's so hyper-focused is more important than me controlling the situation. And if we're 5 minutes late, we're 5 minutes late.
Yeah, I remember doing this. I remember this shift with Angelina. Like, I used to buy all her clothes.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, okay, wear this dress, wear this dress.
I know you did because I got them all.
Yeah. and how many of them had tags on them, right?
Oh, girl.
Like, I had to stop and be like, she doesn't want to dress like a Disney princess anymore. And I can buy all the Disney princess dresses that I want, but she's just going to keep wearing that same set of leggings, not the Disney princess dresses. So I had to just stop. Even to like now, we just had Easter. And instead of like me going and shopping and buying like all these clothes and bathing suits and like things that end up on their closet floor because, Trent's 21 and she's 15 and they have their own styles and wants and needs. And I don't like how this fits or what this material is or blah, blah, blah. I put gift cards in their cards. Like, here you go. Here's a gift card to Target. Here's some cash. Like, go get what you want to get. Because at this point, I'm wasting my money trying to, put you in this or put you in this or put you in this. I just got to let them wear what they want to wear. Like Trent's hair, we were talking about his hair. He's like, yeah, you always used to make me get a crew cut, blah, 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 blah. First thing I did.
You're like, because it looked crispy and nice and presentable.
Yeah.
And now you look like a hockey player.
Yeah. He's like, first thing I did when I moved out was got a mullet. I'm like, listen, if the biggest problem I have with my 21-year-old son is that he has a mullet, I'm doing all right. I mean, I'm going to let you have the mullet.
Let me tell you, he do be rocking that trailer park. In your mind, you're like, I didn't work my ass off all these years so you could look like where we used to live.
But you have to let them. Whether it's kids, it's people, it's a hairstyle, it's clothes. It is what it is. And sometimes, like,
sis, it is so freeing.
And we take things too personal. Like, going back to the trip part, like, that got me, the trip one, where she was like, I was scrolling through Instagram, and then I realized this whole group of my old friends went on a trip, and they didn't even invite me. They didn't even ask me to go. And she was, like, all hurt. Like, well, what did I do? What did I do? And her husband's like, you don't even hang out with them anymore.
And you
don't even hang out with them anymore.
Exactly, because they had moved, but then also she talks about how she had spent the last 2.5 years just, like, pouring into her business and working. Pouring into her family and doing all of these things. And as entrepreneurs, like we've talked about before, a lot of times it can be lonely. Like I personally, have had to make an effort to have more social interactions with my friends because I love my friends. And that story hit me too, because there are so many times when I'm scrolling Facebook and I'm like, people I used to hang out with, or even people like I don't even like hang out with. Like, I'm like, oh, that looks fun. I wish I could go. Because everybody wants to be liked and everybody wants to be involved. But again, like, it is not personal. So one thing that you can do to get started on this Let Them journey is get a journal and say, this is your writing prompt for today, children. Where in my life am I gripping so hard for approval or control that I'm draining myself?
Yeah.
What is it for you? Was it really Trent's mullet? Is that the end all? Can we also talk about his dust stash? No, I'm just kidding. He's a handsome boy.
Yeah, I've
21-year-old facial hair.
I've let go at home pretty much completely. Like, I will just shut their door. I understand that they're going to be messy some days. Yeah.
All days.
I would say for me at home, that's where I had to let go. And I will catch myself out loud being like, let them. Like, this is
Sometimes
fine.
you have to say it out loud.
This is temporary. Like, this is not a big deal. Like, let them.
Same. They're between like working and wanting to be with my family. There are days where I mentally say, you can spend the next 20 minutes cleaning up this kitchen, or you can spend the next 20 minutes snuggling with the kids, reading to them. If you die tonight, are they going to remember that you spent your very last 20 minutes cleaning up that kitchen? Or are they going to remember, man, Mom died last night and I'm so glad that we got to snuggle and read a book? Right? Perspective, people. So go through your text messages, your calendar, your energy. Are you over-explaining things? Are you over-apologizing? Are you people-pleasing? Are you burning yourself out trying to keep up with the Joneses and do all of the things? I have a cousin, and she had 3 girls, and they were dancers. They did the dance thing. Each one of her girls was in 2 or 3 dance classes. They lived in that place, and I watched her die. She was dying between trying to work and get them fed and pay for the things and do all the stuff and go from here and go from there and recitals and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, like, let them be in dance, but also, like, maybe it's pick one, you know? Yeah. So where are you at with what is burning you out?
And I would also remember, like, just speaking of that, it reminded me, I was talking to one of the agents at the office, and she was like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. I haven't done anything for Easter, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, listen, I'm going to tell you this from my own child's mouth. They're not going to remember half the stuff you're doing. So don't place so many unrealistic expectations on yourself. Like, you don't have to hide the eggs. You don't have to color the eggs. Like, if you want to and you have time to, great. But don't turn it into a stressful, not fun day because you're trying so hard to, like, have this, like, picture perfect, like, expect these unrealistic expectations
that a lot of times your kids don't even have.
No, like, and I was looking at some old pictures from, like, past Easters, and it's like we're all in the matching outfits and we're all doing this and we're all doing that.
They ate chocolate for breakfast.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, you ruin so many days trying to make them into this unrealistic picture of perfection when no day is perfect. And like you said, you would have just enjoyed a lot more, like, our Easter. Like, we all got up and went to church, and then we had breakfast at home, and then we chilled. Like, I did some yard work. Trent went and seen his dad. Like, we all put way too much pressure on ourselves for these things, and it doesn't have to be like that. Like you just said, pick one.
Agreed.
Pick one.
Yep, I love it. So we're going to start saying let them, you know,
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes from the book is, she says, letting them doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're choosing you.
Yes, absolutely. So let that sink in. Choose yourself. And this, a lot of people are like, well, you know, that's selfish and that's uncaring. No, it's healthy. Yeah. It is so healthy. And there are so many times where, like, I've had drama going on with friends, and I'm just like, I'm picking me. I'm out. I quit. This doesn't involve me. I don't need to hear it. I don't want to gossip. I don't want any of that. Just, I'm out.
Yeah, it's boundary setting, right? Like, that's what we're talking about. Let's set some boundaries. Let's enforce those boundaries, and let's protect our peace.
Yep, I love it. I love it. Oh, speaking of boundaries, they're not ultimatums, they're filters. I love this line. Yeah. It's very important. And I'm so proud of where I've come from because of all the lack of boundaries. Remember when we first started coaching? I had this many boundaries, y'all. For those of you who are listening, zero. It's zero. And my life is so much less stressful now that I set boundaries with my clients. I tell them, hey, my phone goes on at 8 a.m. My phone goes off at 8 p.m. Now, if we're negotiating an offer or something, sometimes, yes, we will be on the phone at 8:30. But last night, I had a client. He was texting me while I was doing the Kindle Kids at church. And I told him, I said, hey, I'm going to call you after our event on the drive home. So it was like 8:15. I called him. He called me back at 9. I did not respond. I did not respond. And it felt so good because I know he has questions. He's a first-time home buyer. I want to be there for him. But I did tell him in my voicemail when he didn't answer, I said, hey, I got a couple minutes. I just want to let you know, I'm giving you a call. If we don't connect tonight, I will call you in the morning.
And that's where we come to the second part of the let them theory, which is let me.
Let me.
Right? Let them go on their vacation and let me understand that for the last 2 years, I've been telling them I'm too busy at work. And I understand that it doesn't really have anything to do with me. They had to continue on with their friendships, right? So let them, but then let me. You set a boundary, right? We're talking about boundaries. So if I set a boundary that says, if you do this again, then you will no longer be a part of my life. Okay, so let them do that again. That's their decision. And then let me
enforce that
boundary. Then you will no longer be a part of my life anymore.
Yeah, I do that with the things that live in our house. I say, if you don't pick up your crap, I will throw it in the trash. Yeah. And then I let them not pick up their crap. The best part, though, is like when they're surprised. It's like, oh, well, how could you treat me this way? How could you unfriend me on Facebook? How could you throw my stuffy away? Well, number one, I told you that was going to happen. Number two, I told you that was going to happen. Like, you can't continue to live this cycle of chaos, people.
Yeah.
Stop it.
For sure.
Stop. Jiminy crickets. All right.
And you don't have to justify it. You don't need permission to protect your peace. A couple of examples she puts is like, I don't do last minute anymore. You know, I am not a last minute person. And to me, like, same week is last minute. Like, there was, I got invited to something last Friday and I got the message on like Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'm like, the 19th, isn't that like tomorrow? And Kim's like, it's Friday. I'm like, who on this planet would invite me to something only 3 days in advance? You know that I need weeks or months in advance. I need weeks or months in advance.
And that's okay.
And it is. And you know what, though? I did end up going because it was somebody that I really care about and they support me a lot in my business. And I've known them for like my entire life. And so I was like, I usually, like, my rule of thumb is I don't do things last minute, but because I wanted to show up for this person and it was important to me, we did end up going. So it's one of those things where, like, you can definitely have some firm, like, this is the way that I live my life or I don't live my life.
But if you want to.
But if you want to, you can. But, like, the person that invited me, like, followed up with, like, I'm so sorry this is last minute. Like, I know, like, I just got this together. And, like, I also understand, like, she has 3 little boys and all of these other things and she works at the school and blah, 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 blah. So, like, that's super understandable. And I just appreciated getting invited and I wanted to go. So even though, like, I don't do things last minute, if it is something that I happen to be free, then
let's go.
I'll go.
Yeah.
But by default, I'm known as I don't do things last minute.
And what I like is, the idea of not having to justify to people. That is so important because I feel like especially when we're in interactions with our peers, we feel like, like you said, someone invites you. No, I can't. I already have this. But you can just say no. No is a full sentence. So yeah. I'm giving you all permission to do that.
I like this little, we have down a little activity and it's create the let them list. Create the let them. So write it all down, big or small. Let them misunderstand me. This is a big one. People misunderstanding you. They think this or that because of social media or your position or whatever.
Or a text message.
Message, whatever. Like, let them misunderstand you. Let them not like you. Doesn't matter. Like, that doesn't matter. Let them scroll past your wins and not give you a thumbs up. Let them not respond. Let them think what they want. Who cares? What other people think about you is not your business. It's not bitterness.
You can't control it either. You cannot control the thoughts that people have in their head. So whether they're outwardly pretending to like you or not, like, you cannot control whether or not Jane is secretly crapping on you in the back of her mind.
Yeah.
You just got to do you.
Applying it to business, like, I think this is important too, especially if you're in sales, like for us being in real estate, client ghosts you. Let them. Focus on the people who respect your time. Leads fall through. let them. Like, that's fine. I deal with this a lot in our coaching with our realtors, where they'll be like, well, I've been calling and calling and calling. Then call somebody else. Like, if somebody decides that they are not going to use you, that's fine. Find somebody else to use you. You can't sit there and like get all up in this bunch. Like, I was talking to somebody the other day and she's like, oh, my husband's cousin worked with another realtor and now he wants to work with them, but I want to work with you. And I'm like, I would love to help you guys. But like, also, like, I get that when you're in a relationship, if somebody else has somebody that they've heard is amazing and blah, 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 they may want to use somebody different. Yeah. And they don't know me. So I can't take that personally. It's not like her husband knows who I am or has seen my stuff. She has, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, sometimes there's going to be those situations and you just have to know there's always more people out there that need your help.
Exactly.
So go find your people.
Yeah. And there's been lots of times where I've taken, up calls or floor calls, and these people want to go see this house right away. It is on the east side in Roseville or wherever, or St. Clair Shores, and it's a drive for me, and they're not pre-approved. And so I've had people straight up tell me, well, if you're not going to show me this house today, then I will find someone who will. I will let them. Because what's going to happen is they're going to go see that house. They're probably not going to want to buy it. Or if they do, they don't have a pre-approval letter. And that's going to take 48 to 72 hours for them to get all this crap together, blah, 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 blah. So it's fine. Let them. I don't care if it's a $700 rental or a $700,000 house. Like, let them.
Right. And also you get what you negotiate. So I like how you mentioned like your hours on your phone. I talk to people about this too, because especially new realtors, again, they want to respond, but then you're setting unrealistic expectations, and then you're getting upset when your clients are messaging you at 6 a.m. or 11 p.m. or yada, yada, yada. If you've continuously answered at those times, that is the expectation that you have now set. So you have to not respond. Like you said, like, I'm going to not respond, because it's completely understandable that there are hours in the day that you are not accessible. You are a human.
Also, I would like to point out, if you're an entrepreneur, run it like a business. I know you might, especially if you're a real estate agent, because me as a real estate agent, I'm not the one with the brick and mortar. I'm not the one with the overhead. I'm not the one with the place. And I feel like a lot of times, especially with real estate agents who like are working from home or blah, 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 or whatever, we don't actually feel like a business. So we don't treat ourselves like a business. You cannot call DTE at 9:30 p.m. and expect someone to answer the phone. You cannot call any business, any normal business. I mean, there are businesses who are open, whatever, but any business that's open from 10 in the morning until 7 p.m., you can't show up at 5 below at 9:45 p.m. and expect their doors to be open.
Right.
Treat yourself like a business. Set people's expectations. Let them know, hey, I will respond between X and Y. If you call me after Y, I will get to you the next day. Because honestly, 0 things are going to burn down between the end of your day and the beginning of your next day.
For sure.
Nothing will happen. And I will tell you, I've had some wild crap happen in my real estate deals after hours. And I dealt with it the next day.
Well, and sometimes what I find is if you leave things for a little bit.
Sometimes they sort themselves
out.
out.
People work it out. People work it out all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then I get to it like 2 hours later because I've been running or I've been in a buyer's consult. And then by the end of the whole thread, they're like, okay, we're all set now.
Yeah.
Like, there you go. Let them figure it out.
And the one last thing I want to touch on is, and this is something we could probably do a whole nother episode on. Please, God, please get this book. We will, I got to double check on the Amazon store. I got to get that. I think we have that going. We're going to put this in the Amazon store. We'll put a link in the show notes. Is that what we call it? Mm-hmm. But she talks in depth about the difference between rescuing and enabling and actually supporting and helping someone. And she tells this story, and she gets very choked up about her severe postpartum depression after she had Sawyer, and all the people who came around her, created an environment for healing and all of these things. What I wanted to say before we end is, if someone is struggling, if someone is dealing with something, number one, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. Number two, people are not going to change until they're ready, okay? And number three, the very worst thing you can do is continue to enable or rescue them. And she talks in depth about, supporting adult children who are maybe going through addiction and setting boundaries. Okay, well, I will pay your rent if you go to this rehab. Okay, I will pay your car note if you go get a job. You can live in my house if you are going to school. And it comes back to setting boundaries. Let them do what they're going to do, but let me set the boundaries and operate within those boundaries. And she talks about this rock bottom point that her husband had in his business. And, at that rock bottom is where people make that decision. And you have to let people hit that rock bottom.
And just to touch on that one part is that the people have to want to change. That's the part that I read this morning. They have to. You can want your husband to go to the gym all you want. You can buy him a Peloton. You can get him. You can want
Trent to cut his mullet off and get a nice fade.
But until somebody wants to change, there will be no change. And remember that change is hard. So like you said, supporting them in that and being empathetic to that and understanding this start, stop, because it is hard.
It is hard. Especially when you're making big life personality changes and you're a grown person set in your ways. So go and get this book, you guys. It is absolutely revolutionary.
So good.
If I will tell you, the Audible is amazing. I love her voice. I love the way that she's reading it. And I feel like we really get a lot of tonality and a lot of humor. Yeah. And it is a very enlightening book. I highly recommend you go and get it. And just start pulling nuggets out and implementing them in your everyday life. It will change the game for you 100%.
Absolutely. And that's what we have for you today on the Elite Life Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like the show, share the show with somebody you know.
Hit that sub button before you go. And come back next Thursday because we drop fresh content every Thursday here on the Elite Life.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today on the Elite Life Podcast with Trisha and Kylee. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend so we can keep delivering you more fantastic insights on grit, grace, and growth. Stay connected with us on Instagram and Facebook, where we'll keep the ideas flowing to help you build a life you love and leave a legacy you can be proud of. Until next time.